in the back of the end zone.
In, fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot, off the post, score!
First try kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score! Cornell down the field, end zone! That is a touchdown!
In, and oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
In, fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot, off the post, score!
First try kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score! Cornell down the field, end zone! That is a touchdown!
In, and oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
In, fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot, off the post, score!
First try kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score! Cornell down the field, end zone! That is a touchdown!
In, and oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
In, fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot, off the post, score!
First try kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score! Cornell down the field, end zone! That is a touchdown!
In, and oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
In, fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot, off the post, score!
First try kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score! Cornell down the field, end zone! That is a touchdown!
In, and oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
In, fires, deflected, no, rebound, score! Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is just about 9 o'clock here from Lynch Ice Arena here in Pawtucket, Rhode Island. Tonight's matchup, a Division I hockey matchup here in the state of Rhode Island between the Moses Brown Quakers and the Smithfield Sentinels. I'm your play-by-play commentator, Chris Heatu, bringing you inside tonight's matchup, once again between the Moses Brown Quakers and the Smithfield Sentinels. So both teams in the bottom tier of the division in Division I hockey. Smithfield sitting in 9th place with 11 points on the year and 5-7 as their record. And for Moses Brown, after a spectacular year last season, has just really struggled to get back to where it needed to be this year, and they sit at the 11th seed with only 5 points to their year and sit at 8-3 on the season. So both teams looking to play for certain things here. Moses Brown has a chance to give spoils to Smithfield. Smithfield's a team that, of course, even though they have not been doing well since their previous losses to Warwick and LaSalle, tonight could be a pick-me-up game and give them potential to push themselves further back into the playoff race. You've got 8 teams that are trying to make the postseason this year. And, of course, Barrington on the cusp right there. They're tied for points with Smithfield. So Smithfield really trying to get a win tonight to put themselves back in that conversation. Moses Brown tonight could be a chance for some spoilers, and who knows, maybe even a chance, but that window is closing ever so slightly. So Smithfield, their starting lineup, and Moses Brown starting lineup. It appears we're just going to skip the pregame introductions due to the time of day, and we will just hop into it. We'll take a moment to remember America for the playing of our national anthem. And with that slap of the stick on the ice, that means we are all set and ready to go from Lynch Ice Arena here in Pawtucket, Rhode Island, once again between the Moses Brown Quakers and the Smithfield Sentinels. Before we get into the matchup, let's get a word from tonight's game sponsors. Tonight's game is brought to you in part by Joseph Lammy, 696 Reservoir Ave in Cranston, Rhode Island. For consultation and information, visit josephlammy.com. Joseph Lammy, attorney at law. And by RR Elite Recruits, with access to 3,000 schools and 80,000 coaches across 38. One moment. And by RR Elite Recruits, with access to 3,000 schools and 80,000 coaches across 38 NCAA sports. For high school athletes looking to play at the next level, be seen by visiting RR Elite Recruits. Go to www.rreliterecruits.com to sign up for more information. With that, both teams have gone to their respective benches and are now all set and ready to get the puck dropped here and get things rolling along. And they'll take center ice. And with that, we are officially underway from Lynch Ice Arena. Off the face-off, the Quakers will dump it in off the back end. And on the near side, it's wrapped around. Smithfield tonight showing off the black and green jerseys. Well, Moses Brown is in the white and blue. And it's a very interesting Sentinels jersey on there. That shot going right past the man in the net tonight. And that's the number 35 of Matt Bradley. And starting in net tonight for the Moses Brown Quakers is the number 1 of Devin Maloney. Camden Lucier struggled in the last few starts, and Maloney looking to come in tonight and play a little bit of cleanup right there. Bradley will make the stop, as that was the 21 of Jack Travers trying to sneak it in the back door, but of course Bradley right there to protect. And so they'll face off on the left-hand side. And off the face-off. Around the back end that time. And carrying it up ice is Smithfield. The dump in off the 18 of Jacob Boudreau. This one wrapped around as Aiden Rush tries to take it away. Some hard body checks on that side and dumped in. That time the 23 of Jacksonville Lonnie. Puck stuck against the back end. A couple of players pushed to the floor. And Rush there to meet it. Across ice that time, going right under the skates of Justin Baxter. And dumped in by Gunnar London. And the Quakers will get themselves some new skates with a line change. On the near side, in front of the penalty boxes, this one's dumped over towards Maloney. He sends it behind the back. Excuse me, in net tonight. Couldn't see based on the crease in the jersey. That's the 31 of Camden Lucier in net. So Lucier is starting tonight. Apologies for that incorrect call. This one, all the way down past Goff. It was intended for Nathan Goff, and it's sent back the other way. An open lane here for Carosi, and Bradley makes a tough save right there with 13:09 to go in the first period. And we'll face off from whence we came, the same dot that we started at originally. And as the puck hits the floor, this one, we're coming right away from Seth Feldman and shifted behind the backside. Travers floats it around the opposite way, trying to get some room for Zachary Riordan. And this shot right into the glove. Jeffrey Larson took a shot from the point. Bradley once again to scoop it up. Quakers already establishing some very solid offense. They've dominated in terms of offensive possession so far in the beginning. And we'll see if they can continue this success. Smithfield playing on its heels right now. Really needs some type of offensive push. And off the win. Taken away that time. And the Quakers, their shot blocked. That time taken away by the 20 of Hopkins, Jacob Hopkins. And at neutral ice, it's dumped forward by Carosi. Taken in the palm by Dominic Pasha. And now off the back end, the Quakers will start from scratch. Here's a nice little move right in the slot, but the defense there to swallow it up. Very fortunate. And now it's center. Van Gordon back to him. A little bit of a lead there. And the puck stuck up against the near side. Jacob Sylvester trying to go into assist, and now Feldman chasing it down. Travers. And now Van Gordon. Rifles it across, nearly intercepted that time by Seth Feldman. And this one's dumped back in for Moses Brown. Travers sends one off the protective glass on the back end. And now towards center. Intercepted at center that time by the 10 of Baxter. And sent back the other way by Smithfield. Trying to get a leading chase. Pasha couldn't hold on to it. Now Travers is going to have to rebound from that. In front of the box, Goff. It's taken away and dumped in one more time. Chase Rinker wraps it around to the near side, going under Hawkins. Will Hawkins. And getting some assistance that time from Arignanti. On the near side at neutral ice. Vasilis Sacralades with the leading pass that time for Will Carosi. This one goes right to Bradley again, and he'll make the stop with 11:11 to go here in the first period. Both teams still trying to figure each other out in these first 4 minutes or so as we're about to hit the 4-minute mark of the first. And off the rip. This one going a little off to the left side. And it'll hit the ceiling out of play. On the face-off. Back on the far end. That one shuffled down the lane, and Smithfield able to recover and send it back through center. And it's been touched, so no icing to be called. It's still fair play for both teams. On the back end of the net, trying to find the crease, and the back door shut down by Lucier. Oh, a hard hit on Sacralades. And Smithfield trying again. They have a man in the slot trying to reposition the puck. And the defense really swallowing up here. The puck's still loose, displaced, and it'll hit off the backside. On the back end. Still trying to look for the separation. Smithfield takes it away. And at the top of the shelf for Payne. Matt Payne, this one off the backboard. And taken away that time by Poller. And Carosi to dump it in. What a hit on Will Carosi. Very nice open ice hit. And dumped in one more time. Off of Dalton Donahan. On that far end. That time it was Baxter. Payne to recover it for Smithfield. Matt Payne. Off the near side. Back at center. Trying to get a lead, and it looks like they'll get it into the zone. Villani, and it'll go into the glove of Lucier to stop play. Very difficult to see these jersey numbers for Smithfield. This dark green and black, and then the big green S on the jersey. It's very tough to see some of these numbers, so bear with us. And taken away off the face-off dot, it was a neutral pull. And at neutral ice. And it's going back the other way for Zach Rose to chase down. Rose back up to center. And it's dumped up that time for Jacob Sylvester. And one sent down that time from Rose. And on the backside, nobody in the slot as the Sentinels try to make a feed there. A rifling shot from the top of the zone. Lucier, the puck's still loose, and he lies down to see if he can swallow it up on his back. That time, that was Frank Lombardi sending one down from the blue line. And Lucier able to recover it with the shin pad of his leg. And off the face-off. This one back to the blue line. This one going right to Lucier. He pushes it away, and Smithfield keeps it in play. That time, the 12 of Joseph McConaughey trying to get the puck out of that area, that general vicinity. And this one up, that time to Travers. Jack Travers on the right wing. He'll dump it in, trying to get it over to the left for the 5 of Cole Poller. Poller, and taken away. Up against the visiting bench, it's dumped back in. Bradley to stop it, allowing Argenti to take it. Given up from McConaughey. And down in the opposite end, McConaughey trying to chase it the other way, and Lucier sends it behind the back to the far end. A lot of displacement. Most of these teams can't even seem to hold on to the puck for very long. That one right into the glove of Lucier as Jacob Boudreau took one, immediately crossing that blue line down the center lane. And a save with about 8:01 to go. Of course, the regular season about to come to a close. Many teams trying to find their spot in the dance. Smithfield, one of them. And of course, the playoff picture, the way it looks this year, a lot different than in previous years. No longer best-of-3 series. The only best-of-3 series is in the quarterfinals, and then the semifinals and state championship will both be single-elimination sudden death matchups. An NCAA Frozen Four style playoff picture for the Division I hockey schools here in Rhode Island. At the blue line, and it's brought back across to neutral ice. Behind the back from Van Gordon, getting it up that time for Hawkins. Hawkins, he'll dump it in one more time. That time, it was trying to be met that time by Jeff Larson. And on the near side, Sacrilades trying to kick it to the blue, across the blue line, and he does that. And Smithfield to retreat into their own end a little bit. That time trying to lead the 29 of Anthony Mercurio, and it ultimately ends up getting dumped in again on that far end. Trying to lead a man that time was the 10 of Baxter, and he sends it too far. Van Gordon on the backside, ripped around to the near. And up to center ice. That time for the 8 of Hayden. And now Dalton Donian backhanding it a little wide of the net. He had Hawkins in the vicinity, and Rinker trying to get in there too. And at the top shelf, excuse me, that was Hayden. Thomas Hayden trying to recover it. He sends it off the back end again. And Mercurio back to Hayden, back of the net, shot, score! Thomas Hayden lights the lamp right out of the gate for Smithfield. On the road, they take a 1-0 lead. So Smithfield leads the charge first. They take a 1-0 lead here at Lynch. And the Quakers are playing from behind in their own rink. Of course, the staff from Smithfield last week fell to LaSalle 2-1 in overtime. And Warwick, they lost that one 3-1. And for Smithfield, they scored a goal in each, respectively. However, the goal came in the first period. So for this team tonight, if they really want to excel, the offense can't fall flat like it has in recent weeks. They need to be throughout all 3 periods of the game in all facets. Moses Brown trying to get set as they want to get on the board themselves. That shot rifled down from the 9 of Larson, and Bradley will make a backdoor save. As the puck hits the floor, it's poked to the top of the blue line. That one coming off the glass. Rinker around the back, intended for Argnenti. And up towards center. That time it's Hopkins trying to chase it down. He's got Rose in the vicinity trying to track it away, and it's taken away by Rush. Up to center. He led Travers a bit too far. This puck back to the near end. Dumped in. Lucier to stop the puck in its tracks. Now the lead up towards the 6 of Rush. And it's sent back to center. And we get a whistle. Let's get another word from tonight's game sponsors. Tonight's game is brought to you in part by Joseph Lammy, 696 Reservoir Ave in Cranston, Rhode Island. For consultation and information, visit josephlammy.com. Joseph Lammy, attorney at law. And then by our elite recruits, with access to 3,000 schools and 80,000 coaches across 38 NCAA sports. For high school athletes looking to play at the next level, be seen by visiting our elite recruits. Go to www.oureliterecruits.com to sign up for more information. Quakers on the power play here, as the Sentinels gave up a penalty. And the Quakers trying to establish some type of offense. And the Sentinels clear it that time as Hawkins brings it into the zone. This one coming down that time from Payne, and Lucier has to make a really tough save there. Off the face-off. It's wrapped around the back end by Larson to the near side. And dumped in again off of Rinker. And now Baxter. And the whistle. High stick, they're going to say. Puck might have gone out of play, so they're going to just face off down in the Moses Brown end. 1:15 left on the penalty. Smithfield's done pretty exceptional exceptional so far on this power play in terms of killing it off. Quakers 2, just not in these last few minutes or seconds. This one sent back down by Pasha. Off of Lucy, or Larson will take it. And now at center. 5 of Cole Poller. Poller is pushed into the near side. And trying to track it right in front for Baxter. That one off the back glass. Larson. It's dumped all the way back down to Lucier, and he'll stop it. With just about 30 seconds to go on the penalty. And the Quakers don't really have much to show for it so far. Sent to the near side, right in front of the center lane. Taken away by Baxter. It's dumped back in. And Lucier to trap it down. Getting some help from Larson. Feldman. Penalty clock tricking down as Gabe Mamdani takes it into the zone. Feldman trying to backhand it. It hits the back end board. And Smithfield back to full strength. And on the near side, that time Feldman. And now dumped in again off of the 4 of Gunnar London. Now Will Plum. Dumped in, that time off of Hopkins, and he'll retreat to the bench to get a line change going. Plum to Sacralades. Sacralades under Carosi and gets it to Travers. And it's poked back the opposite way. Sacralades pushed off the mark. And it's wrapped around to the near. Pasha enters the zone, takes the chance, and Lucier, oof, quick agility to glove that one out of the air and make the stop. Yeah. Off the face-off. This one dumped off the backside there by Rose. Feldman trying to get it to Travers. There's nothing there, and he'll just send it right at Bradley. He'll drop it back into play. And Argnente to the near side. Back to center. And taken away by Larson. And Rush. Aiden Rush to send this right at Bradley, and he'll glove it up cleanly with 1:21 to go in the first period. Still 1-0 as Smithfield leads the game so far. They've successfully killed off one power play and have just been able to ride high since the start of this one. And off the face-off. Dumped in to the left-hand side. And now Smithfield to take it up on the right end. Trying to find a lane to Goff, and Lucier was right there. That was a very well-designed play. Lucier had to really whip his head around, but was able to stand up to the adversity. That time Van Goren looked like it nearly went off the post, and the net comes off the moorings, and we got to stop play with 51 seconds to go. And takeaway there from Hawkins as the Quakers took the face-off, and Pollard to dump it forward that time for Rush. Rush will dump it in. Off the back end board. Trying to bring it back up to center. Here comes Anthony Mercurio taking the shot off of Lucier, and he'll glove that one up with 28 seconds to go. And off the face-off that time, it's Larson. Wrapped around to the near side for Pollard. And up against that near side, Pike. Couldn't get the shot off. Pike trying to get reset as the defense is right there to meet him. And Lombardi to dump it back in. Baxter trying to send it up with not much time, and that time Pike was trying to get set in the slot. This went off of Lucier in the back of the net. And that will conclude the first period. Lucier does stop the puck in time. Nearly didn't get that sense off as Lombardi sent one down. But 1-0 the score after one period. We'll be back in just a moment for the start of the second as the Sentinels lead the Quakers 1-0. The ball's loose. He'll cough it back up, and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
Fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post, score!
First try kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score! Cornell down the field, end zone! That is a touchdown!
The ball's loose. He'll cough it back up, and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
Fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post, score!
First try kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score! Cornell down the field, end zone! That is a touchdown!
The ball's loose. He'll cough.
My name is Jay Costa here with Fans Only Sports. Chris Hitu is currently moving his car over in Narnia, so I will be covering until he gets back. And it is Moses Brown trailing Smithfield 1-0. That is the number 15 is Zach Rose for the Sentinels. Clears that one forward. And that is Max Travers who scoops it up for Moses Brown. It's the 15 of Cole Wilson. Wilson. Around the net. Wilson has Travers. Max Travers plays it forward. Looking for Ethan Garneau. Garneau finds Baxter. Cleared away. Max Travers trailing right now has the puck. He'll play it forward to find the 18 of Will Carroll. Shot there. And clock stopped. Good save there by the goalie for Smithfield there, Jonathan Forant. And it'll be a face-off in the defensive zone of the Sentinels. Sentinels win the face-off. Something that Chris told me at the beginning of this game is the Sentinels tend to get out to an early lead. They just can't finish it. That one off the stick of the goalie there. Now Smithfield surging forward. Sentinels can't get it. Carroll scoops it up. And a big hit there by the number 9 of Jeff Larson. And now the official blows the whistle. And apologies there, I forgot to start the clock. I'm multitasking. And it'll be a Moses Brown player in the penalty box. And a power play for the Sentinels once again. That was Will Carroll in the box for the Sentinel. Apologies, working out some technical difficulties. And it is Smithfield with the possession of the puck. Number 21, Will Hawkins, still battling. Plays it back out. Ripper there, just past the goalie. That shot coming from Matt Payne. Like Chris said earlier, jersey is really tough to see from Smithfield. That one behind the net gave Maloney a heart attack there. And Chris Heatu back in the booth now. It's probably the fastest I've ever seen him run in my life. And I'll turn things over back to him.
Appreciate having a stand-in commentator close by. So we'll face off as Smithfield takes the power play with 1:15 to go. Gotta say, I haven't run like that in quite some time. Back on the near side. And dump back into the corner that time as Hopkins tries to chase it down. It was a chase and go. So that one's sent back in for him. Hopkins winds up. That one bounced off the back boards towards Lucier. And at the top shelf, another one comes down. This one deflecting into the netting. I'll stop play with 12:17 to go. And 46 seconds to go on this penalty. And off the left end to center. Payne trying to give it off. It was a little bit too much back for, looked like Rinker. Payne trying to shift back up towards center. Payne, he'll dump it in. Hopkins the first to meet, or Hawkins, excuse me, the first to meet it. And gets it up to Rinker. Rinker sends it back down into the lane for Goff. This one circulating right in front of the slot at the blue line. Trapped down, kept in play. And poked back to center. Would have been called offsides. Good leverage there, trying to gain the vantage on Garneau. As Ethan Garneau looked like he took the floor for the first time. A great poke check, Garneau. Pass there! Oh my goodness, on the one-timer, Mamdani couldn't make it. And Bradley makes back-to-back saves right there. Wow, Gabe Mamdani in the perfect position, and Matt Bradley there to make the key stop. It's not often you get to see things like that occur. And that was just a tough go about it for the Quakers, who are still just about to get off the power play. And our game clock catching up to the actual game clock. Clock sits at 11:10 right now here in the second period. And off the zone, Baxter sends this one down. And dumped away to the opposite end. Garneau, or that time it was Larson. Garneau, that one blocked as Mamdani took a chance. Back to Mamdani, sends another one, shot, score! Gabe Mamdani finally breaks through. He tried it once, twice. Tried it once, twice. The third time was the charm. And the Quakers tie things up at 1 apiece. Here in the middle of the second period, score now once again even up at 1-1. We've got ourselves quite a game brewing here. Off the face-off, Rinker wasn't able to get it cleanly, or that time it was Hayden, Thomas Hayden, taken away by the 19 of Rose. Quakers will dump it back in as Argnente tries to send it around the opposite lane. And on the near side, taken away at center by Travers. And now Rush, Aiden Rush. He gets the dump in and taken away that time by Poller. This one flipped up to the near side. Shuffled across off the mask of the 26 that time of Nicholas Pike. Pike keeps it, sends it a little wide to the left of the net in that corner. Another one sent off of Lucier, off to the right side. And dumped all the way down. And play will still ensue. Payne trying to use the shifty speed. He gets poked and tripped, and there's the arm. And the penalty. So a trip going to be called. Against the 16 of Gabe Mamdani. So the Quakers called for another minor. With just a little about under 9.5 to go in the second. And off the face-off. This one shuffled to the top of the zone as Hawkins dumps it back down to Rinker. Now down to Mercurio. This one shuffled over to the near side. Payne, he'll send it back down. Mercurio, or Hawkins. And this one cleared by the Quakers. Off that near side. And now given up to Mercurio, having some trouble handling it, and he'll just shuffle it back around the boards again. Sentinels struggling to get some offensive production set up as they dump it in again. The Quakers are killing this penalty quite effectively. And now back to Payne. Payne sets it up for Goff to dump away behind the back. Now Hawkins gets it to Goff. This one off of Lucier's stick side. And the Quakers will clear it again. Bradley to Payne on the open ice pass. Shuffled under the skates that time of Jacob Sylvester. And off the backside there for Baxter. It's back at center. And play called dead. And we'll face off on the Smithfield side of the ice. And off the faceoff at the top of the zone, Baxter couldn't get the extension. Some good defense coming from Jacob Hopkins. And the Sentinels will try with just barely any time remaining on this power play. Shuffled past, but Hopkins there. And he can't get the extension as he tried to bring it into the center lane. Rinker that time. Penalty expires. Lucier makes the save just as Mamdani came out of the box. I'll stop things with 7:23 to go here in the second period of action. In that far corner. Pushed out for Vasily Sakralaitis. And this one going way out of the play. And so we'll face off at neutral ice. Nice little shifty move that time for Larson, but it's dumped away. Back up to center. Trying to gain some advantage that time for Boudreau, and that time McConaughey will dump it in. Around the net of Lucier that time for Boudreau. At the top of the zone. It's shuffled back down. Back to the near side. 6.5 to go, and we're still evened up at 1 apiece. The offensive production has really slowed down as time's gone on. Sakralaitis unable to really move the puck forward. Some of these Smithfield skaters just a little bit faster on the open ice. And he'll take it back the other way. It's dumped in. Garneau. Ethan Garneau, and they're called off sides as Aiden Rush tried to sneak across, but he did it right in front of the official. So we'll face off again in neutral territory. Sent across to the far side. Really going to have to move for it is Zach Rose. Just clean it to the near side. And Rush trying to get up after that hard hit. Carosi there to assist. And Goff takes it away as the chance was shut down right in front of the net. Crossing the blue line on side. Sentinels take a chance right at Lucier. The puck's still displaced right in front. And Baxter will send it out of play again. .5:14 to go in the second period, and the score still sits at 1-1. On the near side. Another one coming down. This one bounced off the jersey. And Travers clears it back to center. Van Gordon gets it over to Lombardi. Back to Van Gordon. Van Gordon up to center. And it's dumped the other way by Mamdani. And icing going to be called there. We'll step aside a quick moment and get a word from our sponsors at Precision Home Lending.
Want to close your home purchase or refinance faster? Contact me, David Delbonis, at 401-487-7379, President Precision Home Lending. Trust the experts and we'll make your loan experience amazing.
And that time Rush. Rush trying to navigate around the Sentinels' D. And taken away by Payne, getting it up to Goff. Goff to clear it, but a good lane for Garneau. Bradley standing up tall to make the stop. 4:31 to go. And it's just been a very slow game in terms of shots on net. A lot of opportunities presented, but it's been a very defensive effort in this one, as both teams are playing pretty solid throughout this one. And that time shepherded away by Argnente, trying to get it around the defense. Goff and Crew, and now Mercurio right off of Lucier. Nearly had him sleeping there. But Lucier locked into the play regardless. And now back up to center. Argnente trying to play keep away. Payne to come in on this one. Nice little move to get around Mamdani. And Pollard trying to play it on the far end. Taken up by Mercurio. Shuffled, couldn't get the pass in cleanly, and the Quakers will dump it back in. Payne dumps it off the backboard for Goff. Goff cuts it back to the left and poked away by Garneau. Garneau, good shiftiness. Garneau, a chance in front of that backhand shot, score! Justin Baxter finishes the deal. And just before the end of the second period, Justin Baxter puts up the second goal of the evening for the Quakers with just about 3.5 to go here in the second. And this is the thing we talked about in the first period. Smithfield is able to go up on the board early on, but their offense just stops clicking after a while, and they trail once again. Something's got to change quick if they want to find themselves back in this one. Rinker takes the face off for Smithfield, and it's stopped right in front of him, and that time Zach Rowe's going to have to assist. And on the near side, it's dumped back in. Rinker up to center. Puck displaced at center as Hopkins tries to pull the puck away. And Rinker will take it. And whiffs on the chance that time, and Carosi luckily lost his stick. And now Rinker to bring it up. On the left side, they take a chance. This one hits the backboard. Back to the near. Another one coming down. Lucier on the floor. The puck's still loose, and somehow Smithfield could not find the opening. Leading Rinker a little too far on the pass, and he'll still get it. This one coming down. Lucier traps it in between the 5-hole. Wow. And at the top shelf, this one coming down to the right side. Center, Rush being pushed away. McConaughey, and it'll touch the ceiling out of play. And we'll come back to center. Garneau, nice little move there through center. Brings it across the blue line, trying to gain the zone off the defense as Payne was there to defend. Payne there once again. He sends it behind the back of Garneau. And behind again, taken away by Sacralades. A chance, shot, score! And the Quakers do it again! Gabe Mamdani, his second goal of the game, gives the Quakers a 3-1 lead off an assist from Vasilis Sakralaitis. And the Quakers add on another one. Sentinels continue to watch this tie game slip away. And so we'll face off back at center ice. And off the face-off. This one poked free, giving Aiden Rush some room. Rush behind the back for Carosi. Travers there, and it's dumped back down into the zone. Pauler trying to get it to Carosi. Carosi with a wraparound, and it's shut down as the Sentinels D was there in the slot. Off of Lucier there with under a minute and a half to go. Sentinels trying to get back on the board quick. Sent around to the far end. Shuffled back down towards the 19 of Trevor Rose. Another one off of Lucier. Taken away, shot, score! And the Sentinels answer back quickly. That time it's the 23 of Jackson Villani to put up the second goal of the evening for the Sentinels. And they bring it back within one. Score now 3-2 with 1:10 to go in the second period. As we're about to approach the second period intermission. And of course, we will take a little bit of an extended break as the Zamboni works its magic on the ice surface. But we still got another minute and 10 to go, as we said. Baxter back up to center. And flipped over by Lombardi to Rinker. And now Hopkins to dump it forward. And I guess our head official is going to say it was pushed out of play. And we'll face off again at center. Back to center. This one stopped. Taken off that time by Garneau. Garneau trying to play the shifty lane into the center. Hopkins to give it back up. Pasha trying to get the lead. Under the skates of Hopkins. And on the near side boards. Garneau, Mamdani. And this one touching the net out of play just barely. 25 seconds to go. And off the backside, that time Larson. And right in front of the net of Lucier. Back to the far end. And that will do it for two periods of action. Quakers lead this one after two, score 3-2. As we hit the second period intermission, it's been a tough go about things for Smithfield, but they've climbed back into the race with a goal just before the end of the second. We'll be back in just a moment. Zamboni going to come out, work its magic on the ice surface, and we'll be back for the conclusion of this one here from Lynch Ice Arena. Score, Quakers 3, Sentinels 2, right here on Fans Only Sports Network. And oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up, and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
Dustin fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post, score!
First right kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score! Cornell down the field, end zone. That is a touchdown.
In and oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
And fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post, score!
Let's try a kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score! Cornell down the field, end zone! That is a touchdown!
In and oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
And fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post, score!
Let's try a kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score! Cornell down the field, end zone! That is a touchdown!
In and oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
And fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post, score!
Let's try a kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score! Cornell down the field, end zone! That is a touchdown!
In and oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
And fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post, score!
Let's try a kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score! Cornell down the field, end zone! That is a touchdown!
In and oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
And fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post, score!
Let's try a kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score! Cornell down the field, end zone! That is a touchdown!
In and oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
And fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post, score!
Let's try a kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score! Cornell down the field, end zone! That is a touchdown!
In and oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
And fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post, score!
First right kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score! Cornell down the field, end zone! That is a touchdown!
In and oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
And fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post, score!
First right kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score! Cornell down the field, end zone! That is a touchdown!
In and oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
And fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post, score!
First right kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score! Cornell down the field, end zone! That is a touchdown!
In and oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
And fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post, score!
First right kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score! Cornell down the field, end zone! That is a touchdown!
In and oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
And fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post, score!
First right kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score! Cornell down the field, end zone! That is a touchdown!
In and oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
And fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post, score!
First right kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score! Cornell down the field, end zone! That is a touchdown!
In and oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
And fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post, score!
First right kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score! Cornell down the field, end zone! That is a touchdown!
In and oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
And fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post, score!
Gonna try a kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score! Cornell down the field, end zone! That is a touchdown!
In and oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
And fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post, score!
Gonna try a kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score! Cornell down the field, end zone! That is a touchdown!
In and oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
And fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
And welcome back to the third period here on Fans Only Sports Network. Score 3-2 as the Quakers lead the Sentinels here for the conclusion of this one, potentially. Garneau takes the face-off for Moses Brown as they send it up through neutral ice. And taken down towards Bradley. And both teams obviously switch sides once again on the floor, as they did in the first period. Donoyan, and now Garneau. Trying to make a shifty play. It's poked back to center. Mamdani back to Travers. Travers that time to the 19 of Rose. And whistle to stop play. And off the face-off. This one shuffled down and wrapped around to the far end. Shuffled up towards center. Trying to gain the zone that time is Hawkins. And sent around to the far near end. Baxter trying to play it, and this one wrapped around once again to the far side, and it's shuffled back to center. One coming down. And back at center, Pasha. He'll flip it behind the back. Larson over to Baxter. Baxter now at the top shelf. One coming down at Lucier, bounced off the pad and cycled back the other way. And icing going to be the call. Let's get one final call from our sponsors here at Fans Only Sports Network. Tonight's game is brought to you in part by Joseph Lammy, 696 Reservoir Ave in Cranston, Rhode Island. For consultation and information, visit josephlammy.com. Joseph Lammy, attorney at law. By our elite recruits, access to 3,000 schools and 80,000 coaches across 38 NCAA sports. For high school athletes looking to play at the next level, be seen by visiting RR Elite Recruits. Go to www.rreliterecruits.com to sign up for more information. On the far end, Mamdani wraps it around to the near side, and Van Goren will shuffle it back over towards Mercurio, and taken away by Travers. Back to center. Payne gets it to Goff. Nate Goff crossing the blue line, trying to lead Hawkins. Hawkins backhands it, and that try shut down by Lucier in the net, as they tried to set up a quick one-timer. And back to Payne. Payne with the dump in. Travers to touch it first for Moses Brown, and he'll send it up to Mamdani at center. And the feed to Garneau. Ethan Garneau. A nice little move, and Bradley's going to do his due diligence and stop the puck with 12:42 to go in regulation. And off the face-off. At the top shelf. One coming down, and it'll hit off the back end. And this one wrapped around back to the near. To the far side. Feldman dumps it back down towards Bradley. Trying to gain a vantage point that time was McConaughey. He gets the puck poked away from his grasp. And right in front of the net. That time London and Vasilis Sakralaitis can't seem to push this puck forth. And now Larson to come in and clean up, and he sends this one a little too far on the pass, and that'll be another icing call. Off the face-off that time, Rose pokes it over towards Poller. Now Carosi takes it and gives it that time to the 6 of Rush. At center, this one poked past Mamdani as that time Pike's trying to gain the vantage. And this one dumped in again. Mamdani. And this one going right past Bradley. Now Payne up towards Pike. Pike tied up against the far end. And dumped back in by Baxter. Smithfield trying to gain the zone back to neutral ice. Quakers being very pesky on this sequence as Payne brings it back up for the Sentinels. A hard check. You could see that really took a lot out of Payne holding his head there, but he'll go back to the bench. Get a new set of skates out there for him. Definitely taken a little back by it. And sent behind the back, Hopkins, and the whistle called offsides. Just about 10:07 to go. And the score at 3-2 as the Quakers lead the Sentinels. If the Sentinels cannot win tonight, this really begs to question their chances of making the playoffs, and at that point, it could say at that point that they'd be all but done on their season potentially. Still a lot of there's still a few games to be had, but not much at this point. They might miss the postseason. Feldman back over towards London, and it's dumped in. Back to center. Travers trying to play some keep away from Hopkins. And he sends it a little too far, but somehow London comes up with it. To Sakralaitis, who couldn't hold on to the possession. It was a perfect setup. And he just couldn't get the play off on the one-timer. That whole right side of the net was completely exposed. And Travers dumps it back in for Moses Brown. Dump back the other way for Carosi. Gives it all the way up for Poller. Under the skates of Sylvester. And Travers, he'll send another one down as he's called off the floor. Up towards center. Baxter to dump it back in. Goff with the giveaway. Goff in the slot. Back of the net. Shot. Score. We got a tie game, ladies and gentlemen. Goff shuffled in from right to left and took the shot to the right stick side of Camden Lucier. And Nate Goff ties things up with 8.5 to go here in the third period of action. The Sentinels season isn't done yet as they look to continue to add points on to really try to sneak back into this playoff race. Right now, if we take a look at the standings, Barrington is also 5-7-1. They have one tie on the year. Smithfield 5-7-1 with one overtime loss that came against LaSalle last weekend. They're both tied at 11 points, so a win tonight could really help this team find itself where it needs to be. And of course, Barrington did play tonight against Bishop Hendricken. We're still waiting to find out what happened in that one. Of course, many already know by now, but of course we need to get that update as soon as it comes in. And then tomorrow night, Barrington will host Burrillville in Barrington at the Portsmouth Abbey. So that'll definitely be a good way to potentially find itself in a good position. But a lot of teams in an interesting spot. Of course, Smithfield, Barrington, Mount St. Charles, and Burrillville, all within 1 point of each other. So the playoff race could really come down to who will be that final seed to sneak in and which team will ultimately be eliminated at the end of the day. Of course, Moses Brown and North Kingston, their season is all said and done. Moses Brown just playing for spoils, but 7.5 to go here. So this is anyone's game at this point. And if we don't see a score, we're going to head to a 5-minute overtime period. And if nobody can win that, this game will end in a tie. Of course, neither side would like to see that happen. A win is always better than a tie. At center. And whistle to stop play. And 2-minute penalty being assessed to Smithfield. And we didn't get to see the exact call that time, but Moses Brown to be on the power play for the next 7.5 minutes. And the 9 of Chase Rinker is in the penalty box for this one. So Quakers, this is a perfect opportunity for themselves to retake the lead late in this game. And Smithfield does its job on the PK and clears this puck into the Quakers' end. That fake up to Carosi. Carosi taking it across the blue line, cutting to the middle, giving it off that time to Baxter, back of the net, shot, score! Only 24 seconds into the power play, and Justin Baxter lights the lamp for the Quakers for a 4th time. And they retake the lead, score 4-3. So 7:03 to go in the third, and the Quakers retake the lead off of a power play goal, and that definitely sucks a lot of life out of these Sentinels, But they can't stop now. They've already tied it up once, coming back from a 2-goal deficit. But now they have to come back from a 1 once again. This one dumped in. Baxter trying to retreat after it with Hawkins on his tail. And Mercurio to the top of the line. Go off for that time. That was Lombardi. A chance, back of the net, score! And we're tied up again. Smithfield not going to go down easy as they bring it back into 4. As that time, Anthony Mercurio sinks it in. It was just a minute after the power play goal. Smithfield really looking like a completely different unit tonight. Moses Brown trying to argue the goal a little bit, but of course it's going to stand, and we're going to remain tied. This one dumped in. Of course, this late in the season, we've seen the energy really pick up from all sides. Both teams, really. Rinker sends one down. This one deflected off the stick side of Lucier. Another one coming down and taken away that time by Carosi back to center. But, of course, the energy feels very much like the playoffs. And this is what happens late in the season for high school hockey here in Rhode Island, or anywhere for that matter. Teams are playing for everything. And, of course, Smithfield playing for a lot. There's a lot at stake for them to find themselves in this picture. And Lucier will stop this one with about 5:52 to go here in the third period. At the top shelf. This one deflected back to near center, and it's dumped back in. Puck taken away and shuffled back downhill. And Van Gordon dumps this one in. Travers, now Garneau, and now Mumdani. Gabe Mumdani. And shuffle back to Baxter. Quaker's going to have to clear it, and they'll dump it back in. Right in front, and Bradley makes a tough save there with 5:04 to go. And a tie-up off the face-off. This one's dumped all the way back down towards Lucier, and he'll just glove it up before Pasha can do anything with that. This one sent to the near side. And that time, London can't take it away. Smithfield trying to set up some type of offensive attack. Rinker sends one down a little wide to the left. Mercurio behind the back, trying to lead a man. This one escaping back to Mercurio. Mercurio whiffs on the pass, and this one displaced. And Goff sends one back behind. Hawkins. Now to Mercurio. Mercurio to the top shelf. Lombardi sends one right at Lucier, and he gloves that one up. .417 to go in the third. And we're all knotted up at 4-4. Overtime definitely a factor here. Very high chance that we might end up there. This one taken away. And at the top shelf, Payne. He sends one high over the top of the net, and they're going to have to stop play quickly as the net came off the moorings. And on the near side, Mamdani tries to lead it back to center, and a whistle will stop play again. And it looks like we're going to get an interference call on Smithfield. Jacob Sylvester heading to the box. Moses Brown's last goal was scored on the power play. We'll see if they can replicate that production yet again with 3:57 to go in the third. And a chance to potentially ice the game out, no pun intended, with a victory. At the top of the zone. This one dumped in. Quakers. Carosi. Back of the net again! Will Carosi puts up goal number 5 for Moses Brown. It's another power play goal. Andrew Bradley slams the stick on his shin pad. He is not happy with himself, and the Quakers retake the lead again. We've had the lead change and tie over and over again. Smithfield hasn't led since the first period, but they still have a chance to rebound. They did it last time. We'll see if this is a reoccurring pattern, or can the Quakers ice this one out? It was a great power play goal by Will Carosi, and the Quakers find themselves back on top once again. 3:39 to go as we get the face off to Moses Brown. Travers dumps it away. This one. Travers has it taken away from him as that time Goff will have it. Nate Goff pushed to the floor that time by Travers. And now Mamdani flips it back to center. Goes past Lombardi's outstretched stick, and he dumps it the other way. Hawkins getting tied up, including Mercurio. Now Mamdani pokes it free. Gabe Mamdani. He falls to the floor as he lost the footing. And Garneau. Garneau wide right into that corner. And Feldman whiffs on the chance, and the bench was, you could see the bench's reaction over there as they were really looking for that one to really ice the deal. Quakers had a great opportunity there. Unfortunate that it wasn't shut down, but fortunate for the Sentinels, of course. Come back to center here. A tie is necessary for their season to remain alive. Larson. That time, Baxter couldn't get a clean dump in. Carosi will have to come in, but he loses the footing. And Carosi still comes up with it. A lot of hard hits late in this one. And on the near side, Van Gordon sends this one right at Lucier. And Baxter back to the near side. Off of Lucier again. This one shuffled over to Feldman. Payne mishandling the puck with not much time to go. And on the near side, this one sent in over to Bradley again. Bradley to make the stop for Van Gordon to take it. Payne cuts it back. Bradley nearly saw the puck travel into his own net. And Quakers doing their best to keep it on the Smithfield side. Smithfield likely going to pull Bradley very soon. They need to get it through neutral ice into the Quakers side. The Quakers dump it back in. Back to center. Another one. And now Mamdani sends it up. Payne off the near side and led Hawkins a little too much. And now over to Larson. Bradley really trying to shadow out of the net. He stops one shot. Payne Sends it back up again, and now Travers takes it away. And Garneau will take it back up with just about a minute to go. Ethan Garneau trying to kill as much time as possible. That one off the side of the net. Travers has it again at center. He sends it right down. Under a minute to go now. Sentinels do not have much time to work with, and the Quakers are really playing great defensive hockey here to let this one close out, and a cross-check's called. And it's going to be charged on Moses Brown. Only 48 seconds left. But Will Carosi, who scored the 5th goal just a moment ago, is called for the cross-check. And Smithfield calls a late timeout. Score 5-4. We'll take a quick break and be back in just a moment for the conclusion of this one right here on Fans Only Sports Network. In, and oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up, and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
Justin fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post, score!
Gonna try a kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score! Cornell down the field, end zone! That is a touchdown!
In, and oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up, and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
Justin fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post, score!
Gonna try a kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score! Cornell down the field, end zone!
48 seconds to go. 6 men on the ice for Smithfield. As a power play has been ensued for them, a cross-check penalty called against Moses Brown. Score 5-4. Game on the line for both sides. We're underway. This one coming off of Rinker. Another stop back of the net. Smithfield ties it up. Smithfield ties the game up. A quick shot and score. That time from the 21 of Will Hawkins with 43 seconds to go. Only 5 seconds were shaved off the power play. And we're all tied up again. Smithfield will not go down easy, and what a game they are making this to be. And now Moses Brown is called a timeout. 5-5 the score as we take another break and be back in just a moment right here on Fans Only Sports Network. In, and oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up, and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
Justin fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post, score!
Gonna try a kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score! Cornell down the field, end zone! That is a touchdown!
In, and oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up, and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
Justin fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
43 seconds to go. 5-all as Will Hawkins ties things up. Only 5 seconds into the power play that really costed the Quakers the game potentially. And we're back in it. Likely going to head to an overtime round if nothing can be done here. Time is trickling down on this one as Lucier lets this one loose with only 30 seconds to go. Garneau for Mamdani, trying to get it underneath the defender. And this one in front of the bench. It's pushed around a bunch, and we finally get a whistle to stop the play. 18 seconds to go. Quakers facing off in the Smithfield side of the ice. A chance to take the lead with only 18 seconds and potentially win this one. And if all for naught, Smithfield's going to just try and slow this game down, which they are. The clock winding itself out. And we get a whistle. And it looks like a penalty's being called against Smithfield. And it looks like the penalty is being charged for interference. Nate Goff charged with the penalty, and it looks like interference is the call. This penalty will be assessed going into overtime unless Moses Brown can sink a game-winning goal right here and now. And they get set. And off the face-off, Smithfield clears it away. And that will do it for regulation. Score tied up at 5 apiece. We're heading to overtime in this thriller of a game between the Moses Brown Quakers and the Smithfield Sentinels. Back in just a moment for the conclusion of this one. The ball's loose. He'll cough it back up, and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
In, fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post, score!
Let's try a kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score! Cornell down the field, end zone! That is a touchdown!
The ball's loose. He'll cough it back up, and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
In, fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post, score!
Let's try a kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score! Cornell down the field, end zone! That is a touchdown!
Welcome back to overtime, ladies and gentlemen. We're all tied up at 5 apiece as the Sentinels and Quakers battle it out. Smithfield with a playoff berth on the line potentially. They take the face-off with a man down as the penalty carries over from the end of the third. It was an interference call against Nate Goff. This one's dumped in for Hawkins. As Smithfield's just trying to kill off the penalty. That shot wide over the top of the net. And now Carosi back towards center. And Garneau somehow kept his footing after a near body check on the open ice. Carosi to Mamdani, a slap shot that's blocked away by Bradley. And the Quakers get set in their attacking zone. Garneau, that time to Travers. Back over that time to the 9 of Larson. Larson takes one off the back of Mamdani, and Bradley. It's still in play. Bradley thought he had it. He fooled me for a moment. And now to Garneau. Garneau off of Bradley. Or excuse me, that was Larson. Garneau now to Bradley. I mean, forget it, Larson. That was just tough. Back towards center. Carosi. Over to the bench to Baxter. Baxter now to Larson. Only at 30 seconds to go on this penalty, and Carosi couldn't get the pass cleanly. Rinker, he'll clear it again. All the way down towards Lucier in the net. Off the backside, Carosi. Back towards center. And now Mamdani. Gabe Mamdani. And it's taken away by Pasha and sent down. Lucier behind the back. Back to the near side board. And we're back to full strength hockey as Goff comes back out of the penalty box. 3 minutes until we can decide what will happen here. And icing the call on the floor with 2:53 to go. And once again, if no team can score here, that'll be the game. Off the face-off. Sentinels ice it again. Didn't seem like the 5 of Frank Lombardi seemed to realize his positioning on the floor. Didn't seem to realize his team was back to full strength, and so he dumped it away to have them face off again. And that time, puck stuck up against the near side. And Baxter can't outstretch his stick far enough, and Larson's going to have to take it away. Back to center. Donegan, taken away by Larson. Larson with the dump in as Lombardi chases it down. Lombardi trying to get around Travers. And it's poked back the other way. Dumped away on the near side board by Hayden. On the near side, a delayed penalty going to be called here, and it's going to go against Smithfield. 1:59 to go. Moses Brown's going to go on the power play. They already have 2 power play goals in this one, as Thomas Hayden will head to the penalty box for 2 minutes. So 1:59 to go. This penalty is going to carry out until the end of this one. Larson around the backside. Goff to meet it over on that end with Mamdani. And back towards center. That was Baxter on his tail, in fact. Carosi getting it to Larson. Jeff Larson. Back to Baxter. Now Garneau. Led up by Carosi, and Payne sends it back the other way for Hawkins. Bradley trying to come out of the net as they need the extra man to try and win this one. Hawkins enters the lane, and there was a great save as Lucier had to do a full split. And we get a stoppage of play with 1:17 to go in overtime. Still tied up at 5-all. And they're not going to pull Bradley by the looks of it. He's still standing and waiting for the signal, but does not look like they'll call him out. We'll keep tabs on that. Payne with it for Smithfield. He sends it all the way down towards Lucier. Now Larson around the back to Baxter. And Pasha tries to take a chance. It's taken off. And at the top of the line, another one coming down, deflected off to the left. Wrapped around back to the near side. Rinker. This one sent down off to the left side of the net. And sent back to Rinker, who can't stop it cleanly with the back of his stick. He'll dump it in again. That time, Mercurio. Time is of the essence here with under 30 seconds. And off the glass, at center, Rinker. Trying to shuffle the lead. This one deflecting off the pads. Then to the top of the line for Rinker. Down right there, Mamdani. The whistle sounds. The horn will sound. And that should do it. And it will. Final score, 5-5. We end in a tie from Lynch Ice Arena. It was a thriller of a game. Smithfield was just going back and forth to punches with the Quakers, but could not edge them out. And their season really is up in the air at this point. Thank you all for tuning in to tonight's game. Final score ends in a tie, 5-5, the final. We'll catch you all on the next broadcast right here on Fans Only Sports Network. This is Chris Hetu signing off. We'll catch you all next time.